Leader, Rosalie Woodruff, the Greens leader. Dr. Rosalie Woodruff, let's have a listen.
Hello everyone. How fantastic to see you all here. I want to acknowledge that we're standing here tonight on the land of Tasmania's first people, the Palawa Pakana. They've shaped this island's landscape for tens of thousands of years. And the Greens recognise that this is stolen land that was never ceded. And we're committed to returning lands, to truth-telling, to treaty and justice. I want to also acknowledge the work of the people on this campaign and start with Jeremy Rockcliffe and Rebecca White. As leaders, they have both done a huge job of work. And, elections are tough for everybody, but also democracy is a wonderful thing. And on behalf of the Greens, I salute everybody who has had the courage to stand, party leaders, but also the candidates and the independents, people who had no notice that this election was going to be called, and that in itself was, less than perfect from a democratic point of view. People have gone hard and they've given it their best. Well, what an election and what an exciting opportunity to fight for real change. And that is exactly how the Greens approached this election from day one. On behalf of the Greens, I want to thank everyone, all those Tasmanians who stood with us during this campaign and publicly shared their stories. Stella, who lost her mother on the ramp at the LGH. Glenn, a victim survivor of conversion practices who travelled 2 whole days to come back to Tasmania to share his painful story. Chris, with his experience of homelessness. And Kelly and Eve, just 16 and 20, who also spoke about their housing struggles and why we desperately need youth homelessness services. Teresa Sainty, who shared the stories of Palawa people's lives in the remote southwest wilderness heritage area. The unions who fight every day. They have been at the forefront of desperate underfunding for a decade, and they feel the brunt every single day of the critical services that aren't provided, and the stories of Tasmanians who suffer real moral injury because they are forced to work under intolerable circumstances that they know are unsafe and inadequate for the work that they're employed to do. So HACSU, the CPSU, the ANMF and all the other unions, good on you for the work you do. And of course, who was there loudest and strongest? The incredible conservation movement of Tasmania, who stood in defence of the Liberal and Labor Party's attacks on our forests, relentless attacks on nature and the marine environment. The thousands of Tasmanians who joined us on the streets to march to end native forest logging and burning. So, collectively, all of these Tasmanian stories tell us why there's a problem, and our message from them that for this campaign that we have relayed is that we need change, and change is possible. It's been a momentous campaign, and we've deliberately focused on raising the issues that we want to fight for and staying out of the negative politics and negative campaigning. And through our work, we've made sure that critical issues were on the election agenda: free public transport, renters' rights, regulating short stay, stronger environment laws. We put them there. The Greens did that on behalf of Tasmanians. We were the only party to put forward a comprehensive plan to tackle ambulance ramping, to remove, yes, it's not easy, and that's why it's a 50-point plan and not a 3-word slogan. We were the only party to talk about how we can and we must remove fish farms from Macquarie Harbour and transition the Strawn workforce. The West Coast community deserves a better future, sustainable jobs for the long term. Also, we talked about future-focused jobs and nature tourism. And so this next term of Parliament, the Greens are going to push the next government to act on the Commission of Inquiry's recommendation and close Ashley Youth Detention Centre. To legislate for the protection of Aboriginal heritage, to give the EPA some real fangs, and to properly ban harmful conversion practices. I am a proud foundation member of the Tasmania Devils, like I'm sure so many other people in this room are, and I'm committed to defending our team and our colours, and the Greens will hold firm in standing up to the whimsies of the AFL. We know having a love of football doesn't have to equal support for a stadium. This generation of Tasmanians needs a parliament of leaders working to tackle the health, housing and unfolding climate crisis. They don't need a $1 billion stadium when we have a perfectly good one at York Park. And that's where the heart of AFL and AFL football should remain permanently. So as we suspected before tonight, things aren't cut and dried right now at the moment, but they are sure looking good for the Greens. In Bass, it's looking strong for the compassionate and incredible Cecily Rossell. She is an incredible member of her community and she has such a kind, caring heart. In Lyons, the tenacious Tabitha Badger. Also looking strong for us in Lyons, and she will be and continue to be an incredible advocate for the environment. In Clark and Franklin, amazing results. And we're in the mix for second seats. And in Braddon, we've also recorded a good swing so far too. But I know some of the results haven't been as good as we hoped. And we know the team in Braddon tonight recognise that it's not as good as it is in other parts in the state. And I want to especially thank them and the fantastic leadership of Dr. Darren Briggs, an amazing candidate. This relentless campaigning has not gone unnoticed, and we know it's just the beginning of the campaign for the Greens to win back a seat in Braddon. So the Greens don't take money from big corporations, and we've run a truly grassroots campaign across the island, and I want to thank the hundreds of people who are involved. We've letterboxed and put up posters and knocked on thousands of doors, much more than in any election before. I want to especially thank all of the 35 candidates because we put up 7 candidates in each electorate. I want to thank the wisdom, the energy and the critical honesty of the past leaders. Christine, I think I can see you here at the moment. Bob Brown, Christine Milne, Peg Putt, Nick McKim and Cassie O'Connor sitting in front of me. They are rocks of strength for us and this movement. I especially want to thank the inspirational, positive and passionate young people who've campaigned to fight on the great issues of today and into the future, and the thousands of Tasmanians who've engaged with us. I want to thank the Greens campaign team, our terrific campaign manager Rachel, Volunteer coordinators, the duo Nina and Emma. Media advisor, Eddie. They gave everything possible to our incredible lead candidates. My own and Vicar Bailey's parliamentary staff, Dan, Alex, Sophie, Tom, Steve and Alice. You've worked tirelessly for 6 weeks and you've been keeping the wheels on. And I want to thank my family who are with me tonight. Paulie, May, Tilda, and not present here, but Ziggy, here in spirit, our dog, campaign dog. Whatever the final outcome of the next few weeks, the Greens will return to Parliament further empowered to fight for Tasmanians who need a hospital bed and a secure home. We'll continue to defend our democracy against self-interest and the corrupting influence of big corporates and ideology. And we'll always be a voice for nature, unlike Labor and Liberal parties who deny the climate emergency. The Greens are with the majority of Tasmanians who want to protect our carbon-rich forests and extraordinary wildlife and end native forest logging for good. So our message this election was that change is needed and change is possible. And we're fully committed to stepping into the next Parliament with this in mind. Thank you.